Hello, everybody. Welcome to Two Guys and Some Movies. I'm Derek. This is my brother Dakota. We had a little bit of a hiatus over the holidays. We both got sick at different times.
Yeah, we got sick at different times, and then we were gonna take a week off for regular holiday purposes anyway.
Yeah,
And it was just rough.
it was rough. Yeah, we not only did we both get sick at separate times, the whole household of both of our families got sick at separate times.
Yeah.
It was a pain in the ass.
Yeah.
So today we're going to be talking about Home Alone, which was on the schedule. Hobbit, Desolation of Smaug, which they should have known about from the last episode, and Indiana Jones 5. Now what we did, because it's been so long, is we also watched Battle of the Five Armies, and we also watched Rebel Moon.
Yes.
So we'll be talking about all of those today.
Correct.
It's going to be a massive episode, I think.
Yeah. And then I have other movies that I sprinkled in.
I have one other movie too. Yeah. So let's just jump right into it because it's going to be a long one. We'll go straight to news. We don't even need a movie thought.
Okay.
Because there's a lot. Nicholas Hoult is Lex Luthor. It has been confirmed.
Jesus, we've been gone that long.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, we've been gone a long time.
Man, oh man.
So how you feel about that?
I don't really like it, but it's like
It could be fun. The
It's
movie's
possible.
scary. Like, there's just so much going on.
I just have a bad feeling he's gonna play like God, what am I trying to say? Like a douchey rich kid, kind of, instead of what Lex is supposed to be. Lex isn't supposed to be douchey. I don't think. I think he's supposed to be. We've talked about Lex Luthor. We've talked about Lex. Lex is always the smartest man in the room,
Right.
and he's. I don't think that's what he's gonna play. I think for some reason in my mind, I think James Gunn has this idea that Lex is like just a rich, spoiled rich kid, but he's not the smartest man in the room.
Yeah, it's possible.
But who knows? Because I think he's gonna. I don't know. I'm wondering if Lex Luthor's not even gonna be the main like antagonist, and he's just gonna be there just for setup.
He probably
for
will. I
future.
think it probably will be that. Yeah.
He's just gonna be like a character who lives in Metropolis.
Yeah. It's a hard role. Like, Lex is a hard role. No one's ever pulled it off completely. Ever.
Yeah.
But, he's decent, so I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. He looks good with a bald head.
Yeah, I mean, looks good with a bald head when he's painted all white.
No, he looks good with bald. The Arkham show that is being produced by Matt Reeves is now a DCU show. Did you see this?
No,
That's fucking crazy.
it's not the Penguin show.
No, so he's making the Penguin show, but then he had a separate Arkham show that was supposed to be like the Joker was gonna be in it, and we were gonna
Barry Keoghan's Joker.
yeah, and then Harley Quinn I think was gonna be introduced, and it was just gonna be like just in Arkham Asylum.
Oh, that'd be fun.
And now it's a DCU
Like
show.
Orange is the New Black.
Yeah. But yeah, James Gunn hijacked it. Matt Reeves is still making it, but it's not in his universe. It's in James Gunn's. It's fucking weird.
That's weird.
Yeah. I don't like that.
Yeah, I don't know how they're gonna do that.
I don't either.
Unless secretly behind closed doors they're roping R-Pats in.
Oh my god, I would love that. I would be all for that. Jonathan Majors will be recast as King. Like, someone else will be cast as him. How do you feel about that even now that we know that the charges are dropped? Because I put this in there before we knew.
No, he got. They weren't dropped. He got convicted. He was guilty. He got like half of his. Yeah, it was like two things, and one was not guilty, and one was guilty.
Oh, okay.
So that's why it was instant. It was like boom, guilty. 30 minutes later, article Disney drops Jonathan Majors. It was nuts.
Interesting.
It's like a tough decision because it's like all the fans know they were going towards this King thing, and so it's like, do you recast King and just confuse the like very casual people, and then all you got to do is just be like, yeah, this is the guy, we just recast him, or do you try and rewrite your whole entire plan to do a Silver Surfer or a Doctor Doom big bad.
Yeah.
So it was a tough decision, but they have a lot of a lot of people have pretty good fan castings that they could go with, and everyone that their fan cast is like 100% up for this.
Yeah, I would have preferred them drop it and just go to Doom.
Well, yeah, but Doom's just a cooler. Well, Doctor Doom's a character we know, and we don't know Kang, and maybe he could be cool. And now there's a lot of people pushing for Coleman Domingo, the guy who played in Rustin. He's like going to get nominated for an Oscar.
Oh yeah,
I think he was in that dope HBO show with Jonathan Majors, Lovecraft Country. I'm pretty sure he was in there, and he like steals every scene he's in. He's in Euphoria too, and he's like, he is incredible. Yeah. But he's a lot older than Jonathan Majors, which I think would work better for Kang's character.
I think so too. Warner Bros. Met with Paramount to potentially merge.
Oh,
that's a rumor, I guess. But the news is they did meet. The rumor is that they're trying to merge.
Oh man, we could get Tom Cruise playing a superhero.
Tom Cruise already has a deal with Warner Bros.
Oh, what?
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah. I think that they mostly want Nickelodeon.
Who?
Just Warner Bros.
Okay.
I think they want Nickelodeon.
So is it more of Warner Bros. Getting Paramount, or you think it's more Paramount getting Warner Bros?
I think it's more Warner Bros. Getting Paramount.
That's rough. I was just on Paramount Plus the other day, just perusing, trying to find something to watch, and they got some pretty nice stuff over there.
Yeah.
It's not bad right now.
Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, we won't hear anything. When Discovery took over Warner Bros., they couldn't sell it until 2025. Like, that was part of the deal. So this is just early rumblings. I know at one point NBC was wanting to buy Warner Bros. From Discovery also. I think that's a better fit than Paramount going into Warner Bros., but we'll see.
Yeah, I think Warner Bros. At this point is just like, Disney's doing rough right now. Everyone else is primed for the pickings. Let's get as big as Disney.
That's exactly what it is. Yeah. So this is so old too. Scream 7 loses the director after losing the two main leads. Mm-hmm. That movie is, I like it. At this point, they should just fucking cancel it, honestly.
It's terrible. Yeah, I mean, what would you do in his situation, you know? Like, who knows what they asked of him after this happened?
Well, I'm sure that the directors were... Well, no, it was probably the producers. The producers were the reason Nev didn't come back in the last one, because of the money dispute. Mm-hmm. So this director was probably told to go get her after this. He was like, you guys are the ones that burned the bridges. Why the fuck am I going out to get her? You know?
Yeah, he just got in a terrible spot.
Yeah, I would leave too. But yeah, I mean, I think that movie's DOA. Like, there's no way.
Yeah. Who knows? It could be all for the better. You know?
Who's going to want to pick that movie up, though? They're going to have to get someone way down low on the directing list, you know? Some unknown to take that shit.
Yeah. Well, it's like it's prime though. It's a horror movie. They could get those kids who did freaking Talk to Me or something.
I like that movie.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. This is interesting. Steven Yeun left Thunderbolts, and that is how bad the MCU is right now.
He left though, but then was like, "I'm totally open for another Marvel role." I was like, "What are you doing?" I was like, "This is weird."
It's because I think he's like, I bet his agents were like, Beef is a huge hit. You were a scene stealer in Nope. Like, you're about to get nominated. He just won the Golden Globe. Mm. They're like, just get out of there because it's bad. And God. Maybe they can give you something better down the line. That's exactly what happened.
Yeah, I mean, what, 2 years ago or a year ago, he was like on the short list for Best Actor in his Minari movie. So, like, I guess.
I mean, Beef won everything that it was in.
Oh, I know, it was ridiculous.
Yeah,
it was insane. I've never watched. I didn't watch it.
Me neither. It looks fun. And the last bit of news I have is the Supergirl casting list. Did you see this?
No, not at all.
I'm not familiar with two of the actresses, so I have to pull it up.
Is this a rumor or?
It's a leak, yeah. So, Millie Alcock, who played young Rhaenyra, Amelia Jones, who I don't know.
Emilia?
Yeah, Emilia. She was in Coda and Lock and Key. Go Doctor Who. Yeah, literally stuff I've never seen.
Yeah.
And the last one was Meg Donnelly, who I also don't know off the top of my head.
She seems like she was in a bunch of horror movies. Oh, she was in that Disney series Zombies.
Oh, yeah. And the Winchesters. Okay.
She looked like she already played Supergirl in Legion of Superheroes.
Yeah, she voiced her.
Yeah.
So how do you feel after The Flash and her and Sasha Calle killing it as Supergirl, them going back to a traditional blonde Supergirl?
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I guess it fits better in James Gunn's universe. Like, you could tell, like, Sasha fit well in Zack Snyder's universe, but I don't think it's gonna work as well with. He's trying to go. It's hard to explain. He's trying to go like. I don't know. It's like a color palette thing. You know what I'm saying?
A color palette.
Like,
yeah.
you know how, like, when Gal Gadot was cast as Wonder Woman, everyone was all crabby about it? But then we were like, if you have Henry Cavill, Superman, and Ben Affleck, Batman, Gal Gadot's Wonder Woman just fits.
Right.
Sasha's Supergirl fits. But in this universe, this, like, his little Superman legacy art piece or whatever, like, the traditional white blonde fits in that color palette.
Yeah, his Zack Snyder it's a darker tone, a more serious stuff. James Gunn really likes his color and it to be pretty poppy, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So I get what you're saying. I feel like I can't think of another time a character has been race bent and then reverted back to blonde or white.
Yeah.
I think people might lose their fucking mind.
See, I don't know, because I just feel like not a lot of people went and saw The Flash, so not a lot of people are going to care.
That's true.
But it is interesting, because it's interesting, because I don't think the only actress I know on there is Millie Alcock.
Yeah.
But I don't think she's a good fit for the role either, personally. The other one, the latest one, Meg Donnelly, like, she looks like she's freaking... She got the looks perfect.
Look just like Supergirl.
But I don't know how she can act. She's just like a Disney. Like, it could be her breakout role.
Disney and CW, so it's kind of scary.
Yeah.
Millie Alcock is such a good actress that I'd at least, entertain the idea.
Yeah.
She's quite small, though.
Which may be what they want, because
Superman's not that big.
He getting big though. I saw a photo of him. Yeah, he getting jacked.
So yeah, that's all the news I have.
You want to talk about the Abby casting real quick?
Oh yeah. See, there's so much that I didn't even write down.
Which I had the rumor was right on my. I said it on here.
Yeah. What's her name?
God dang it.
Caitlin Dever.
Yeah. Because she had previously worked with the showrunner, or Neil Druckmann, because she did Uncharted 4. She was, what is her name? Cassie Drake. And so she already had an in with Neil Druckmann. I think she fits aesthetically with
Bella.
Yes, Bella Ramsey. I think they just fit well. The problem, they have so many problems going forward because
they cast everyone. Did you see Jesse, Dina?
I saw Dina's casting.
That's my least favorite.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't. It's just. It wasn't even I ever heard of, was it? I just saw a picture of her and I was like, I don't recognize this person.
I think that I don't know necessarily, but I just don't think she looks like. She just doesn't look like what Dina will look like. You know what I'm saying? Like what Dina is.
Yeah,
Dina's like down to earth and chill, and this woman looks like she's stuck up.
Yeah, well that's true. They should have just went, or what the girl from man, what was her name? The girl who voiced her in Last of Us 2. She was the one in Raising Hope.
Yeah, Sabrina.
No,
That might
starts
be
with an S though. But she's like perfect for the role. She's just too old.
Yeah,
Which
she really
sucks.
is perfect for the role.
It's like there's like a softness about her, like just like, you know
Right.
what I mean.
And you need that because Ellie's so not soft.
But they're also running into these. There's such a big plot point in Last of Us 2 about Ellie being so skinny and Abby being so huge. And it's so important to the role. And I don't think Caitlin Dever can get not nowhere near as big, right? But I don't think they're going to tell Bella Ramsey, be like, hey, start getting anorexic for this role.
No. I mean, she's very small anyway.
Yeah.
Or they are, yeah.
So I don't know what's going on, honestly.
Dude, I'm thinking a muscle suit, just a
muscle suit. Because they wanted that the one girl from, she was in The Mandalorian, and
yeah, Katie O'Brien.
she's huge.
She is big.
Yeah. Yeah.
Perfect casting.
Really? Yeah, she was in Guardians of the Galaxy 3 too.
You know what's crazy is I would have cast Caitlin Dever as Ellie, and then Katie O'Brien as Abby.
Yeah.
But I mean, you know, and the dude that they got playing Jesse, did you see him? He's like a pretty boy. One of those like.
Wasn't Jesse? Wasn't he like? Was Jesse the Asian one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like,
Is he the guy from May December?
I have no idea.
Oh. I didn't look up all of them, but they're not really in it that much.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty exciting that all these characters are definitely going to be in it because there was some, you know, like maybe we're going to get an in-between season, you know?
We might still.
Yeah,
it might
that's
just
true.
be working it up. Like, we might just...
Jesse and Dina look like they're so much older than Bella, though. I know that they did a lot in the first season to make her look younger than she is.
Yeah.
But they look like 7 years older than her.
Yeah, that's why like Caitlin Dever as Ellie would make sense.
Right.
But maybe they're going to do he looks just like him.
Looks just like him. Yeah, it's crazy.
That's insane. Maybe you know what they're gonna do? I know how season 2 is gonna start.
Okay.
It's gonna start at the hospital. It's gonna start at the hospital with Abby coming in to see her dad in the aftermath. Little Abby, I guess.
Maybe.
But I think the whole episode's gonna be that. Like we're just gonna be stuck there, and it's just gonna be all Abby the first episode.
I don't think
That'd be nuts.
I don't think they can do that.
Yeah, they can. But yeah, we'll see how it goes. In hindsight, The Last of Us, like we regarded it well, but looking back at it, it just gets worse as a person who's played the games.
Yeah, they just rushed so much.
Yeah.
The first game should have been at least 2 seasons. But I was down for a season, a season. You know what I'm saying? One in fall, one in spring, one in winter, and
That would
then one
have been
in
crazy, dude.
summer, you know?
Yeah.
That would have been fucking awesome. I don't have any rumors besides the WB thing that we talked about, which was part of some news. So we can go straight to trailers.
Okay.
Did you see Lisa Frankenstein?
No, I saw the teaser. Or not the teaser. I saw the first trailer for Lisa Frankenstein.
Okay.
And I liked it enough where I'm like, I'm done.
Yeah, I must have missed the first one. This is the first one I saw.
I've talked about it on here. I told you about it.
Oh, okay.
Because the movie looked like super fun and really good, and I'm gonna watch it. So I don't need to see anymore.
Yeah, Catherine Newton, I think is her name, and then
Dylan Sprouse.
I think it's
Cole Sprouse.
Cole Sprouse. Yeah, it looks like it's a good time, and I love Frankenstein. You know, just as a whole story.
Yeah.
And this is like a fun little twist. And
I think it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun and funny. Yeah.
You only have one, right? One trailer. So I also saw Self-Reliance, which is out already. Came out last night on Hulu. Jake Johnson wrote, and it's his directorial debut, and he's starring. And basically, he gets Andy Samberg, who's playing himself, rolls up in a car and is like, "Hey, man, let me talk to you." And Jake Johnson's like, "Whoa, bro, I'm a big fan." He gets in the car, and Andy Samberg's like, "You've been picked to be in the most popular dark web reality series." And he's like, "Okay, what do I gotta do?" He's like, "People are gonna try to kill you, and you have to survive for 30 days. But they can only kill you if you're alone." And so dude's like, "All right, fine." So he's like hiring hobos to like sleep with him, you know, so that he's never alone. And then he meets Anna Kendrick, who's playing this like, I think like a overly attached new girlfriend, and it's gonna be hilarious. It looks like it's gonna be a good time.
Yeah, that's Jake Johnson has like this special power to where he just makes all these like indie. He makes all these indie movies, and they're like secretly your top 5 best movies of the year. Like drunk buddies or drunk friends or whatever.
Oh, that movie is so good.
It's incredible.
Yeah,
and he just does that, and he has some kind of deal with Hulu. It's everything he makes goes to Hulu. But yeah, that's exciting.
I'll probably watch that this week.
I probably will too,
just as an extra movie.
Yeah.
And then the last one that I saw was Civil War. Alex Garland, who did Ex Machina and Men and
Creator, didn't he?
No, Annihilation.
Oh, he hasn't done anything since Annihilation?
I don't think so. Well, I think maybe Men was after that, actually.
Oh, he did Men.
Yeah, I haven't seen Men yet.
Me neither.
But it's basically about the American Second Civil War. The trailer starts out with like talking about how many states have succeeded, and one of the alliances is Texas and California, and they're waging war against everyone else. And it's about Kirsten Dunst is a reporter, and she's just like being a war reporter, just going around doing stuff. And I don't necessarily know what the big picture is, but it looks like it's super interesting, you know?
Yeah, it's an interesting thought that I never like.
Because everyone was like, we were close to a second Civil War, even though, I mean, we were probably as close as we've ever gotten to a second Civil War during the whole Trump thing.
Oh, yeah.
So it is an interesting idea.
Yeah. It's a crazy thing to think about because, like, you know, most of the time, like, war reporters are in danger. But I feel like if the Civil War were to break out now, as a war reporter, I could totally go to the opposing, I could go to both sides and feel completely safe. Because I don't think it would be like in the trenches kind of war nowadays. It'd be some weird thing.
So there's a cool part in the trailer. Kirsten Dunst's husband, what's his name? I always forget.
In real life?
Yeah.
Oh, oh God.
You know who I'm talking about.
I know who you're talking about. Yeah.
He's in it too. You know, he's kind of scary.
Yeah, he plays a good villain.
Yeah, he does. They come up on him one time, and he's got a gun, and he's like, you know, being a little authoritative, and they're like, "Wait, we're American." And he's like, "But are you the right American?"
Oh, nice.
It's like it's fucking good.
It's like as good as Arthur's line in Red Dead Redemption 2 when he saves at the very beginning of the game, you save this group of women who are by these like hostile men in this cabin, and they just want to find shelter because it's snowing outside, and they're all freaking out. All the women are freaking out, and Arthur goes, he's like, we're bad men, but we ain't them, and I was like, that's freaking dope.
Right.
It's an incredible line.
That's all my trailers.
I saw Abigail.
I missed this one. Yeah, it looked fun.
It is. It's interesting. So it's just all these like, I guess they're like hired guns, kind of, or assassins. They don't really kind of tell you, but people who get hired to do things by rich people, essentially.
Okay.
Get hired to protect this girl for overnight, and they were like, "Oh, someone's after her," blah blah blah, and then they're all standing in this mansion. They haven't even seen the girl. They get to take turns going to the girl and like talking to her, and they go and they talk, and then all of a sudden the whole entire house locks down, and then you find out the girl's just a vampire and they're just her food because they're bad men. And so you got this little girl vampire just running around wreaking havoc on these people, and they're trying to kill her, and it's fun.
That does sound fun.
Yeah. It just looks like a fun freaking movie. And they got I think it's the little girl from what was the animatronic doll?
Megan?
Yeah, I think it's the little girl from Megan. She's creepy, kind of.
Yeah, she is.
Different weird. Her teeth are weird. It's like 30 Days of Night teeth.
Okay.
So.
You're not my favorite, but I'm okay with any vampire.
Yeah.
So we'll talk about Monarch now. So I'm up to episode 7, which is when they found out that May isn't who she says she is. Kirstie Clemens' character.
Okay. Man, oh man. I feel like I only have one episode left. How many episodes are there?
There's 10.
Oh, well, maybe not.
The 10th one came out last night.
I've seen up to that point. I know I have.
Yeah. So there's lots of fun stuff. We went back into the past again, and this dude's basically making a beacon that can communicate with Godzilla. And it sends out radiation signals, and Godzilla bounces them back. And he's doing it on Monster Island, he calls it, which is a throwback to the old Toho films where all the monsters lived on Monster Island. And I thought that was super fucking cool. And that character, Dr. Suzuki, he is a blast. He's super eccentric. And other than that, the plot in the modern age is just kind of like bogged down. It's been a lot of exposition and a lot of bullshit. Mm. The last episode I saw was, at the end, we found out that May was writing code that they were using to make Mechagodzilla.
I've seen one episode past this.
Okay. So, like, I'm still enjoying the show. Mm-hmm. Godzilla -1 really took a lot of steam out of it for me because it was just so good.
Yeah.
And then going back into, like, these other more campy Godzilla stories, it's just like, you know. But I'm still enjoying it. I'm excited for the end.
Yeah, I was kind of in a boring-ish state at where you're at.
Yeah.
This next episode really ramps it up, and the way it ends, it makes you really want to watch the last 2 episodes.
Nice.
And the last 2 episodes should be very, like, theoretically, should be, like, very exciting. And we're going to get to see some crazy stuff happen. But yeah, like the show overall, is good. It just has it's a roller coaster. You know, right. You have your highs and then you have your lows, and where it slows down, because I think there's just the one they struggle with. All of your most interesting characters are the characters in the past.
Yeah,
and then the only really truly interesting character in the present is Shaw, who's the character in the past. Plus their dad I find very interesting, but he has no screen time.
None.
He's like he and
He hasn't said a word, I don't think, yet.
yeah. So yeah, that's where they're struggling. Is because they spend a lot of time in the present.
Right.
But the last 2 episodes should be pretty freaking exciting.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll finish it this week.
Yeah, I'll probably watch both of those tonight.
So extra movies.
I have a lot.
You have a lot? So besides Rebel Moon, I only have one.
Rebel Moon's not extra. You said we just added that to our normal
Yeah, but
repertoire.
it's still like an extra, you know? And it's Home Alone 2. So
Okay.
I'll wait until we talk about Home Alone 1.
Okay. Okay. Let's see here. All right, I'll just start with the order I watched a bit. So I watched A Good Person with Florence Pugh and Morgan Freeman.
Okay.
Very interesting story. It's do you know what it's about?
No.
Zach Braff's second directorial movie or whatever that he wrote and directed. So pretty much Florence Pugh is about to marry Morgan Freeman's son, and she has his like her soon to be sister-in-law and then her sister-in-law's husband in the car, and they get in a car crash and they both die. So then her husband wanted to stay with her, or her fiance wanted to stay together, but she couldn't handle it. And so she goes off the deep rails and then gets addicted to pills. So then she goes to a meeting. And then in the meeting is Morgan Freeman, who's like, no, stay. Like, this is going to help you.
Oh, yeah.
And because he suffered from alcoholism. And it's kind of like about their relationship. His son doesn't know about it. It's an interesting thing. I really wanted it to be really good, but it wasn't. It goes. There's a scene that just like wouldn't happen. I was like, this is like insane. Like no one in their right, like even someone in her state where she's like effed up in the head on pain pills wouldn't do what she did. Like I don't think so. Like
Interesting.
Just based on like the character she was, and like she is at the core like a good person. She's just suffering from an addiction.
Right.
And she does something really bad, and it just took me out of it. Right when that scene happened, I'm like, man, this went way too far. Because then, like in the scene where she does something real bad, Morgan Freeman's character comes in and does something way out of character for him, and I was like, this is crazy. Like this is nuts. What's going on?
Interesting.
So then that really took it down for me. I only gave it like a 7 out of 10, but it's like fine, pretty decent or good acting with Florence Pugh, and I really like the guy who played his son, her fiance. He was really good. He's been in a lot of things recently. I forget his name, but yeah, I mean it's a decent watch if you want to, if you like Florence Pugh and you like Morgan Freeman.
Right.
Chinaza Uche, he's in a lot of things. He was just in he was in Silo. That's why he was the sheriff. So then let's see, what was the order here? Wonka. Went and saw Wonka. Wife's a big Wonka fan. I did not want to go watch this movie. First 45 minutes, killing it. Straight up. I'm like, holy crap, this movie's banging. Right?
Yeah.
And then it just falls apart.
Really?
Like, falls apart. It's terrible.
Because of the Oompa Loompa?
He didn't even need to be in it. Not even at all. Like remotely, he could have just been a after credit or a right at the end little tease, because the movie is starting up. He's like Willy Wonka with the little girl that's like his partner in crime or whatever. He's like those dang Oompa Loompa. The whole movie's like, those dang Oompa Loompas stole my chocolate last night again. and whatever. And she's like, what are you talking about? He's like, little orange men with green hair. And she's like, you're freaking crazy the whole time. And then Oompa Loompa would show up and it'd be hilarious.
Yeah.
But no, like there's a whole scene of him catching the Oompa Loompa. And then it's just, he literally did not need to be, it was a terrible thing.
I think that isn't the right lore for Oompa Loompas.
No, he explains the reason why he's coming after him from Oompa Land. Or
Oompa Land.
I don't remember what it's called. It's something like that, though. And, but yeah, it really just crumbles. But let me tell you, Timothée Chalamet, the bad trailer, because he really does kill it. And he's a beautiful, beautiful voice. It's stupid how good his voice is.
Interesting.
Like Justin Bieber's voice is really smooth.
Yeah.
That's how it's like so buttery smooth. And he sings the famous song. What's that song? I don't remember.
I don't really like Wonka.
Yeah. Yeah, it's the slow song. It's like something in your imagination. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
That he sings that song. It's the very last song of the movie, and he sings a very, very slow version of it, and it's gorgeous.
Interesting.
But yeah.
What'd you give it?
6.
Oof.
I think I did.
What'd your wife think?
Just a freaking 10.
A 10.
She was like, it was incredible. It was amazing.
Wonka's not that good.
No. No, it was fun to see how he concocted. He has like a little, like a suitcase that's like a little mini chocolate factory, and how he like concocts his thing. He's like, oh, I got lightning from Brazil. We're gonna dump that in, and he's like, oh, you're feeling a little blue. We're gonna throw a little lightning from Brazil in, and then a little sunshine from Africa, and then all this stuff.
See, that's why I just don't like Wonka. It don't make no fucking sense.
Yeah.
It's stupid.
Yeah, I don't know. And then we'll save that one for last. I watched this movie on, oh God, what was it on? I think it was on Prime. I just watched this last night. It was just, I was just bored. I couldn't find a movie to watch. I really wanted to watch a romance, either a serious romance or a rom-com, but they just don't exist right now. And like between like they're all on Netflix, and like I'm sharing Netflix, and so it's not my turn to have Netflix.
Yeah.
So I was struggling. So then I found this movie called Champions on Prime, which has Woody Harrelson in it.
Oh yeah, I've seen trailers for that.
Yeah, so it's about him. He's like a professional, I think he's a college basketball coach. He gets in some trouble. He gets sentenced to 90 days of community service by coaching a Paralympic team. And pretty much turns him in from like the losing team to champions. And then there's a lot more to it, but other than that, like it was just straight generic. There's nothing bad, but there's nothing good about it really. There was one really funny line, but I can't like recall it. He's like with the main girl in Always Sunny is in it as the sister of one of the players, and he's sleeping with her. But she's an actress, and they're going on this heist, and she's just improvising because they got to get money for some funding, and she's improvising with this rich dude, and she calls. He's dressed up as a cop, and she's like, my partner Sanchez here, whatever. And he's like, he has one line, and he just adds an O on the end of it. He's like, oh yeah, O, because he's supposed to be a Mexican. Oh God, it was so stupid but funny. Just the way Woody Harrelson delivered it. But other than that, I just gave it a flat 5, just straight up neutral.
Yeah.
Then let me go to my other thing. I started trying to do Letterboxd. You know that app that I told you about?
I started it.
It's very confusing. It's not confusing, but like
it's not easy.
The reviews, the way we write notes is not how I would write my reviews for this.
Yeah.
So I started using it, and I was like, I just gotta stop, because the way we write notes for the movies, I can't write that way in this unless I put like it's got spoilers.
Well, yeah, I wasn't gonna use the letterbox for the reviews. I just wanted want it in there, and I want to give it stars.
Yeah, I think that's what I'm gonna do.
I wish I could change the rating system because
to a 10.
yeah,
Yeah, I hate 5. It's
Yeah.
terrible. So I watched The Holdovers. Banger of a movie. My God, might be one of the best I've seen all year. Probably, it's definitely top 3.
yeah.
Have you seen the trailer or whatever?
I've seen the trailer. It looks fucking good.
Yeah. So Paul Giamatti's the teacher stuck at this fancy schmancy school in the 70s, with all the holdover kids, which are all the kids that aren't going home for Christmas. And it's really just about his relationship with the one cafeteria lady who stayed behind to cook them food, and one of the kids who gets holdover. It's a very incredible movie. Paul Giamatti's at his absolute best, which Paul Giamatti at his neutral is better than 90% of all actors in Hollywood, to be honest. It's kind of slow paced, and there are parts where it kind of dips in, but it's what I like about it. You know how you watch these movies and then like these characters just like after one inconvenient thing they just like pour out their whole just spiel.
Yeah.
Doesn't happen in this movie. Like it's like a real person. Like a real person would we wouldn't do that. You're with a stranger or
Some people are like that.
well, this is more real in my eyes. It's like it happens, and then you don't get those spiels until very late in the movie. So you really watch these people grow into like this friendship, which is it's really nice. It's very well written.
Yeah.
I gave that a 9.
Nice. Where'd you watch that?
It's on some streaming service for free. I don't remember which one. I think it might have been Hulu, but I don't think it was because I didn't watch ads.
How about watch it?
Yeah. And then I have one more. The movie everyone's talking about, Saltburn. I watched Saltburn too. Have you seen this yet? No, you haven't.
No. I probably won't watch it just because I don't really care.
Just because everyone else is watching it?
I mean, like, it sounds like a decent movie, and
It is good.
I just don't care.
It's a good movie. You should watch it. So what the biggest takeaway I have from this movie? So I've seen The Kissing Booth and I've seen Euphoria and stuff, and neither one of those movies I've liked Jacob Elordi.
Yeah.
Now Barry Keoghan's a whole different story. He just popped up on screen, and I'm like, this dude's incredible.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
This movie completely flipped me around. I'm like, we need Jacob Elordi to do a lot of things.
Interesting.
It was incredible.
I don't really like him either.
Yeah, exactly. And I was like, dang, this is incredible. There's so many good lines in this movie. It's so well written. This is way better than Promising Young Woman, in my opinion, which is what Emerald Fennell's first movie that she directed and wrote. The thing I think you might like about this movie is its setting. It's because it's early 2000s, so it's right when, like, they're in college, right when you would be in college. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's like right around the time. I don't know, actually. They might be closer. I think they're probably somewhere in between us, because but it is in England, so I also don't know
Right.
how England was, because they were wearing those weird bracelets that everyone wore, those rubber bracelets that all said like for cancer or all that stuff. But this is one of those movies that I got the tunnel vision on now. It just everything went away. It just woofed me because of the way it's shot. It's very beautiful. It's all shot on the real. This real building. They shot everything real. There was no set. The performance was good, especially Rosamund Pike. She freaking absolutely murders it. There's a line in here I want to talk about. Everyone's talking about the line. But it is very well written. There's a scene where Barry Keoghan's character is talking to Rosamund Pike, who plays Jacob Elordi's mother. And I forget what they're talking. They're talking about one of her like cousins or something being a lesbian or something. Mm-hmm. And she says, I was a lesbian for a while, you know, but it was all a bit too wet for me in the end. Men are so lovely and dry.
What?
I was like, that's a freaking baller line right there.
I don't feel like it's that great.
Oh, no, it is. The way she delivers it is so good. But, yeah, I don't want to spoil anything, even though this is probably the most spoiled movie on the internet for the year, I would say. It's a very good... I feel like you should watch it. Because there's this very interesting dynamic between... There's like all these subtlety... There's very obvious things about rich versus poor. Like... And what they expect of Barry Keoghan to do while he's staying there. But then there's like his dad, who's like super aloof. There's a scene where like they're doing karaoke. And Barry Keoghan's character is like, no, I don't do that. And they're all like egging him on. And they pick a song for him. He's like, I don't know this song. And his dad goes, the words are on the screen, boy. That's the best part. And I was like, it's so subtle because like they just expect that because, in my eyes, they expect that they can force him into this thing because they think it's easy because they think it's like a tradition in their household. And also just because they think because they do it, everyone else should do it. It's a very unique, interesting thing to think about. I don't know. It's hard to explain, but yeah. I highly recommend. I give it an 8 out of 10. My wife was like on the borderline of throwing up, and she said it made her feel like Midsummer did.
I know it's not that bad.
It's not. No. But it's a very interesting, and it's not a movie you think it is. Like whatever you think Saltburn is not what it is.
Yeah,
it's a very different movie. But yeah, other than that, that is what I've got for my extras.
Okay. We'll talk about Rebel Moon now.
Okay. I didn't have my review for Rebel Moon, but it's okay.
So Rebel Moon was interesting. For like the first 40 minutes, I was like, obviously the visuals are incredible because Zack Snyder knows what he's doing. Like he's good at that. But I wasn't sold. And then like an hour and 20 minutes into the movie, I stopped caring. And I stopped caring that the story is just very generic and whatever. And I was just in it. Mm-hmm. You know, like it just won me over because the world's so much fun.
Yeah.
But speaking of like the imagery, I know this is what George Lucas wanted when he did the desert planet. But then all the high technology, I think that Zack Snyder does it better with this like
the farmland.
Yeah, it's like a farmland with fields, but then you see a fucking Star Destroyer basically fly in and land, and it's like it's really something special. It's very unique.
Yeah.
I wish that it was rated R. And you told me that there's going to be a rated R version.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm fucking excited for that.
Yeah, so I was looking at the release of it. It's a very confusing release schedule. Because I think that he's not releasing the rated R until like the week before the second one comes out. And then we'll get the PG-13 in the second one. So then we got to wait on the R version of the first one. Because when I was watching this movie, I was like, I just want the R director's cut.
Yeah, you can tell that it's all there because it's violent.
Yeah. There's that scene where he stabs him through the head. Like, you know that.
And they hard cut away from. It's like they have that shot. They just hard cut away from it all right when it gets real gory. So I'm pretty excited for that. It's just gritty Star Wars, but I don't care.
Yeah,
I think it's awesome.
Never had it.
Yeah, it's so much fun.
Yeah, I think the worlds are interesting. I think they did not, like, admittedly they didn't. You're just like they're gathering up this crew. We don't know anything about any of them.
No,
ever.
Nothing.
Like like this lady's super famous with her 2 swords that are probably supposed to be lightsabers, but they're just swords
Yeah.
that are hot. And she's super famous. Hey, do you want to help us defend our farmland? Sure, I'll go. Woo-hoo. But I think there's going to be a lot more character development, a lot more struggle to get them to come along in the director's cut. Because supposedly, based on what I've read, Zack Snyder had his co-writer revealed that they had a 213-page script.
Damn.
For both part 1 and part 2 together. And they knocked off like 60 pages for the PG-13. So I'm hoping they get the full 213 for the R, which would be nice.
That would be fun. It's a lot of style and not a lot of substance, but again, I don't care. There's a good mix of practical effects and CGI, and for the most part, the CGI is good. Mm-hmm. There's a few bits, but there's a lot of practical stuff too, like the space orcs. Basically, I forget what they're called in this world, but they're literally space orcs. And it's all done practically. It's very well done.
Yeah, yeah. The Anthony Hopkins android thing he looks really good.
Oh yeah, like he looks fucking good.
Yeah, he looks like he's gonna be a good character. He's a big part of part 2.
Yeah, I really liked his character.
Yeah.
And I want to shout out Sophia Boutella because she gets shit on all the time. Mm-hmm. But she is. Yeah, so she was a dancer and then a model. And if you look at other actresses that have a model background, like Gal Gadot, Sophia Boutella is acting circles around Gal Gadot.
Mm-hmm. Like she's like the Batista of the wrestling of like the model world.
Yeah, like she's decent. She's good enough for an action movie for sure. I think she might be even good enough for a small part in a drama.
Yeah.
And I really want to, I just wanted to shout out, she's not as bad as everyone says she is. She's decent.
No, yeah, they just gave her crappy parts. Like, she doesn't have lines in The Mummy. She just walks around looking scary.
Right.
You know? It's, no, she's, like, such a better character than, if we equate this to Star Wars, she's such a better character than Luke.
Oh, yeah.
And, I don't know about Obi-Wan, but, But, she has such an interesting backstory to her that it's still getting fleshed out. Like, it's still, we're getting it a little bit in this movie, but we don't have all of it. She can go a lot of different directions.
She's what Finn's backstory should have been.
That's exactly what I was about to say.
Yeah.
Yeah, and this is a weird thing to say. This is like the first movie that I've seen with Charlie Hunnam in it where I was just like, I'm fine with you being here.
Me too.
Yeah, right?
You know what it is? It's because he wasn't putting on a fake accent. He was just doing his own thing.
Yeah, he just got to be himself.
Right.
Yeah, I was like, I like you like this. I was like, maybe I'll watch that movie with him where he is, that Guy Ritchie movie that he's in with Colin Farrell.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And I was like, I might watch this now because you're doing things.
I really liked, there's a lot of characters that I really liked, even though we don't know anything about them. I liked the one dude, the pretty dude that rides the griffin.
The black guy?
No.
Part of the twins?
No. The pretty dude that rides the griffin.
The griffin? I don't remember.
He was a slave.
Oh, yeah, the Conan?
Yeah, Conan guy.
Yeah.
I really like him for no reason. I like the one with the lightsabers.
Yeah, she looks she's interesting too. The freaking Jenna Malone's spider alien.
Oh my god, that was
incredible. That was the best part of the movie. And the little backstory we got in the PG-13 version, where she's just like, this used to be my planet, and you guys took it over, and blah, blah, blah. I was like, how the heck did we take it over from you guys, because you're scary? You know what I'm saying?
I love that the webbing that she had was black.
Yeah.
Oh, it was just fucking awesome.
Yeah, the fight scene, that was the best fight scene in the movie. How do you feel about you remember when I told you that Rebel Moon was my most anticipated movie of the year, like halfway through, and you were like, "You're stupid."
Yeah.
This is, I'm always right. Yeah.
I don't know if you're always right, but it was.
I said Avatar 2 was going to be what it was, and you said no way. But anyway, how do you feel about like him leaning so heavily into the Nazi symbolism?
I mean, Star Wars is like that too.
But yeah, but this is way more. Like, it's way more.
I like it.
Yeah, I do too. And it's like, yeah, no, there's no better way to explain it than the grittiness. It's a grittier,
Yeah.
yeah. Just throw a little dirt on the Empire, and that's what it is.
Right, exactly.
Do you like the dude's weapon? The bad guy?
His
like,
cane?
it looks like a femur. I don't know.
I don't necessarily love the weapon, but I do like the character.
Do you think it was supposed to be a lightsaber?
No.
I don't either. It's more brutal the way he does it.
Yeah. Yeah, I really like his character. I was a little upset at the end, and then we got more of the end, and I was like, okay.
Yeah.
You know? I don't like her adoptive dad, bad guy. Like the big bad guy.
Oh, yeah. Well, he wasn't really in this movie. So
yeah, he just doesn't seem very scary, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. I remember noticing that too. I'm like, the way she talked about him made him seem like a barbarian.
Right, and he doesn't seem like he's very scary. Yeah, I really like the movie. Like, it really just won me over being in that world. And I don't care if it's not very deep. Yeah. And if it's just a bunch of other sci-fi movies, cliches all thrown into one. I just don't care.
Yeah, I hope that these movies do good enough to where we get more, because I just want more. I'm like all down. They've said they've wanted to make a gritty Star Wars movie forever. Just get rid of the gritty. I think Star Wars is going in a good direction where they're at right now. Especially, we forgot to talk about the Mandalorian Grogu movie.
Yeah, we did.
I think all 4 movies that Star Wars has planned is going in a good direction for Star Wars to get them in the good graces of the fans again, and just leave the gritty sci-fi to Zack Snyder's. I just want a Rebel Moon verse. Like, just take all these cool characters you got and just give them all their own movie. Do like this is the Justice League or this is Avengers. Give them their separate movies.
Yeah,
and have fun. Give us a Sophia Boutella prequel.
They could all do a prequel.
Yeah.
Every single one of them.
It'd be awesome. Like, seriously. Like, because, yeah, just share the space. There's enough room.
Yeah. I ended up giving it a 7.
Yeah, I'm 7.5. I think the R is going to bump it up a point. Probably point and a half, probably 8.5.
Yeah, I think the rated R could bump it up, and I think part 2 could even bump it up. Like, because it's one movie, and we might get more depth. That it could all just elevate it, you know?
Yeah.
And I'll be the first to admit that I was nervous because when Zack Snyder goes full Zack Snyder, it never doesn't work out. But I was having a good time.
Yeah, when she, the initial fight scene in the barn.
Yeah.
Like, that's when we first go full Zack Snyder, and it was fun. Like, it was just fun. The movie is just pure entertainment.
It is, yeah.
It's great.
All right, so we'll move on to the rewind, which was Home Alone. So what'd you think about Home Alone? Obviously, you've seen it before.
Yeah. Well, first thought was I have Home Alone and Home Alone 2 are just completely mixed in my mind. I don't know what happens in the first one because there was a lot of things I'm like, when's this supposed to happen? And it's just a Home Alone 2 thing. But it's really great. It made me miss the slapstick comedy that we just don't have anymore. Home Alone might be the last movie to really do slapstick comedy in
Yeah.
modern popular cinema. Because it's hardcore. It's hardcore Three Stooges slapstick.
Yeah, it's hard to do too and make it not stupid.
Yeah, and they have this it's like a charming tone. That's how you get away with it. And because Joe Pesci, slips on the stairs and when he slips it goes whoop. It makes that noise,
right.
That cartoony noise, and it's just
hilarious. Honestly.
It is funny, and I think it's just you have an actor of Joe Pesci's caliber doing this movie, and you're like, you might need someone like that to pull this off because you're right. It is very hard to do.
It is hard to do, yeah.
And I don't know how they did. To be honest, I don't know who the director is. It didn't look,
Christopher Columbus.
Oh,
Chris
okay.
Columbus, yeah.
But he is very good at it. He's just very good at it.
He is good at that
He
stuff.
always has this charming. There's always an overall light-heartedness to all of his movies.
Yeah. The thing that I realized watching it this time is how tight the script is. Because there aren't any plot holes. Everyone always talks about the plot holes. There aren't any. His ticket gets thrown away when they're having dinner with all that stuff. The person counting all the kids counts an extra kid.
Yeah, the neighbor kid that came over to say goodbye.
The cops do show up, and there's nothing, nothing weird going on, so they leave. He can't make a phone call because the power goes out that night. So, like, it's all right there.
Yeah.
It's all just subtle.
I didn't know there was a big thing about plot holes for Home Alone.
Oh, yeah. And the second thing I noticed was that he's only dealing with the robbers for, like, the last 30 minutes in this movie.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I noticed that too. I was like, we spent a lot of time just chilling.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
And, like, you were talking about the tone of it, kind of. It's, like, the perfect amount of Christmassy for me that I don't want to gouge my eyes out,
Yeah.
Because I'm not a big Christmas guy. So if we go like hard Christmassy, like the end of the Santa Claus, I can't take it. It's too fucking mushy. Like when the freaking whistle comes down and my man's is like, oh my god, Christmas magic. I can't do it. I can't do it. It's too much. This was the perfect amount of Christmassy.
Yeah. But it's Christmassy, but it also adds to, like, it needed to be Christmas time because one, it explains their trip. They're going on a Christmas trip. Two, the cold and the ice, like pouring water on the stairs, is like an important aspect of the movie and everything. So like it was like a character.
Yeah. I thought it was funny that he does all of his prep in an hour.
Yeah, oh yeah. I think it was like 20 minutes or something.
Well, he was at the church talking to that old man, and he knows that they're coming at like 9, and
It chimed to 8.
It chimes 8 times. Yeah, and it was like he's running home.
Yeah.
You doing this in an hour, bro? That's fucking crazy. Like the Flash. But yeah, I had a good time. I think it's like a 6.5.
Oh, I give it an 8.5. I had a real fun time with it.
I like the second one a lot more, and I did watch the second one. So I'll just talk about that now. The second one, the script is tight again. Like Chris Columbus did this one also. Everyone comes back, like literally everyone, and you can't when you watch Home Alone and you like, how do I make a sequel to this? You don't even think about just sending him to somewhere else like New York, and it was fucking genius.
Yeah.
And then not only do they send him to New York, and the same people are coming to fuck some shit up again, but they have this other like subplot where he's goes to this hotel and uses his dad's credit card and gets a room, and Tim Curry is like knows something's fishy and is like a secondary villain. You know, it's just crazy how well written it all is. And the second one is infinitely funnier. Like, I think there's some parts in the second movie that I think are top 10 comedy moments of all time.
Yeah.
Like when he's throwing bricks at him, it just keeps hitting dude in the face. Or when dude gets electrocuted and he's like, I fucking love it. So I gave that one a 7. It was a little bit better. It is less Christmassy, it's less magical, but I still really enjoy it. I think it's fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll go on to. Did you have a wife review?
No.
Okay, me neither. We'll go on to the series Showdown.
Okie dokie.
We'll do Desolation of Smaug.
I just realized I typed like Legolas. It says Lego Land. uh, uh, let me tell you, I have a very unique. After watching them all, is a unique thing. I'll talk about that at the end, though.
Okay.
People really don't. People don't hate on, or people kind of hate on this movie for the river scene. And
Yeah.
the river scene's very entertaining.
I loved it.
There's so much going on, but it's all done so well, and I think people didn't appreciate it at the time because we used to get good action, like a lot,
Right.
and now we don't at all.
Yeah.
But this, you see everything. There's no cutaways. We're not cutting super hard. We're just watching some dwarves go down the river in some barrels, and we're watching elves slide down trees and hop on dwarves' heads and fight some orcs all around them. And you see everything.
And it's awesome.
And Legolas is like, what's that called when you have like a move? Like it's your move. What's his
His signature.
His signature move where he's just like stands on their head and just point blanks right into their freaking noggin.
Right.
It's so freaking cool every time.
Yeah, I really, really enjoy this movie. Like, even back in the day when everyone was hating on the whole trilogy, this was my favorite.
Yeah, this is I'm gonna say it's okay. This is the Empire Strikes Back of this trilogy because while I agree Empire Strikes Back is the best, most well-made Star Wars. This is the most well-made Hobbit. It flows the best.
Yeah.
Obviously, I don't agree that I don't like Empire Strikes Back very much, but
You psycho.
but because nothing happens in the movie, but at least things happen in this movie. But yeah, this is the most well-paced and well-made of the three, I think.
Yeah.
And that's why I think it's the best.
Yeah.
But it's not my favorite after rewatching.
Interesting. I watched it so long ago that I don't remember. My note just says, great intro to get you back into the story. Do you remember what the intro was?
It's...
Oh, them dealing with the bear. Running from the orcs, getting to the bear place.
Yeah, where they're running from the orcs, and Gandalf is like, I know a place. And
Yeah.
then takes them, and then... You know he's like inching them towards the elves, like getting them closer because he wants them to go there.
Right.
And then when they leave the bear place, they get captured by the.
Oh, that was in the first one.
Huh? No, that was Rivendell elves.
Oh,
Woodland.
yeah. He doesn't want them to go with the other elves. I don't think. He just knows that they have to go through Mirkwood, or whatever it's called.
Okay.
But yeah, like it really just, when you have a movie that's broken up into parts, to have an intro that just, it really did just sucked you right back in. It's impressive. The third movie does it too. I like that the ring already is affecting Bilbo, because it doesn't do that in the book, because he obviously didn't have the Lord of the Rings done yet. Mm-hmm. So I think it's just a nice touch that they added. How do you feel about the inclusion of Legolas and Tauriel?
Well, she's a made-up character, isn't she?
Yeah, and Legolas is not in the books.
Oh, I personally think that
book.
This and Five Armies makes Legolas's character in Lord of the Rings so much better, because it's such an interesting thing to watch the one person that he truly loves love another, and it's a dwarf, and almost the fact that he can like have a hatred for the dwarves because of it.
Yeah.
But then his relationship with Gimli, it's like him blooming. He's like, oh, I see why she fell for them. It's a very interesting people who don't know anything about Lord of the Rings outside of the movies don't realize that their relationship was so close that when Gimli got of older age, Legolas took him to the God, what's it called? Their land of light.
Yeah.
Where he could live forever if he bathed in the light, which he was the first dwarf to ever be allowed to do that.
Interesting.
So their relationship was that close. So I think it does wonders for his character. And I told when me and my wife got done watching the movies, I said they could just let. I want to know what Tariel does after this, like during Lord of the Rings. I said, just give me a movie. I just want to see what she's doing because she's a dope character.
Everyone was super crabby about them being included, but I really like it.
Yeah. Because in the books though, his dad's a part of it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So why wouldn't Legolas be there?
Right.
It makes no sense.
Yeah. So we talked about the action a little bit. I want to say the action is the same as Lord of the Rings. Mm-hmm. It's just a different tone. And I don't know why that pisses so many people off.
Yeah, like if we just threw a little bit of like a gray filter on this, everyone would be like, "Oh, this is amazing."
Exactly. Like, it's literally the same.
Yeah.
But this is the most fun movie of the entire series. Mm-hmm. Like early on when they're fighting the spiders and 8 dwarves grab a leg and they just...
Yeah.
It's just fun.
Yeah,
the
cool.
barrels are fun. Gandalf fighting Sauron. Mm-hmm. Like, that's fucking awesome.
It is cool.
Like, I don't know why people don't like this movie.
There is one thing about the movie that I think it fails to do. It does worse than the other two, especially the first one, is that there's no... it doesn't feel like Middle Earth is the thing because we don't go through you're not traveling a lot in this movie. We spend a lot of time with the elves in the woodlands and then a lot of time in the in the city or the water
Lake Town.
Yeah, the lake town and then in the thing. So there's no like Middle Earth. You know, in the first movie it was just like Middle Earth. It was just like oozing, just oozing this like world.
Right.
This does not do that at all.
No, it's because it is quite smaller.
Yeah.
Now, I have a note here. Lake Town is a weird place for Middle Earth. Mm-hmm. It's very realistic. It's like old, like 1300s London.
Yeah.
Like it's weird.
Yeah.
But like it doesn't bother me. But I get what you're saying.
Yeah. Yeah, it doesn't like I still think this movie's incredible. It was a note. It was just a thought I had.
And then obviously at the end with Smaug.
Yeah, that's
we'll there.
I don't know how fans feel about this moment, but like the conversation between Bilbo and Smaug is the best part of my favorite part of this whole movie. Really.
I mean, that's like basically right from the book.
Yeah, and it's like very well written. They're just the way they're going about the way Bilbo's. It's just like it's pretty incredible. Honestly,
yeah, it really is good.
And then when they cover him in gold, and then he gets out, and then he does his little spin, and it was just very awesome.
Yeah. So in the book, they don't really deal with the dragon. The dragon just talks to Bilbo, and then is like, you must be from fucking Lake Town. I'm gonna go destroy it. Mm. So the fact that they added this whole like fight scene was awesome. And like you said, the end of this movie, a golden covered dragon busts from a mountain castle and shakes his gold off, and it fucking glitters as he says, "I am fire, I am death." It was fucking incredible. Yeah. Like, there's no other words for it. Yeah. It's awesome.
It's freaking awesome. Yeah, no, it is pretty wild.
Yeah, I mean,
it's crazy that people have such like in my mind, people, if you talk to someone who thinks who views Lord of the Rings as a 10, in my mind they view Hobbit as like a 6.
Yeah,
but it's really like a 10-8.
Yeah,
and it's crazy because most of them are probably so stubborn they won't watch them again.
I know. Yeah. And like which is watching them all. This is my first time ever watching them first.
Hobbits first.
Yeah, the Hobbits first, and then all back to back.
They're not meant to be watched that way, because like the if you watch it this way, the Gandalf fighting Sauron is it doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Well, it makes sense, but like it makes sense if you know. But like if say they were releasing, like they were just releasing in the order.
Yeah,
you'd be like, what the heck is Gandalf doing?
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
what's he fighting this weird guy for?
But I like it really works as a whole movie back to back to back, I think.
Oh yeah.
And I really like this movie. I gave it a 8.5.
So
Which I gave the last one an 8, I think.
so
Yeah. So I agree with you. I think that it is 10s and 8s. I don't know. We'll see, I guess, next week when we start the fellowship.
yeah. I don't think anything's changing.
It might change. You don't know. But yeah, I mean, it's just a good time. I like everything about it. I love that we get to see the elves do crazy shit. I love when the dwarves get to be dwarves and have fun action. You know, I just love it all.
Yeah.
So we'll go right into 5 Armies.
Extended edition.
The extended edition. This was my very first time ever watching the extended edition.
Me too.
And it is a game changer.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. It's nuts.
It's-
Does all of the Gandalf, Galadriel, Elrond thing happen in the original?
It's like 30 seconds.
Oh no, that was what a moment! Like what an incredible just Lord of the Rings moment.
Yeah.
This was, but no, it's insane. Like this is insane.
Yeah, if you were one of those people that went and saw the theatrical cut of 5 Armies and was like, this movie's garbage, right there with you.
Yeah.
Not garbage, but like the worst one by a large margin. Go watch the extended cut because it is literally a game changer.
Yeah. There's I remember when we watching 5 Armies in theaters, I was so bored. I was just bored the whole time.
Yeah.
This is not that. There's one moment for about 3 minutes where it gets kind of boring for me. It's the most boring part of the movie. But then it changes. It's when we're dealing with Thorin and his dragon sickness, and we really go into it.
Yeah.
And I'm just over this. Like, just get over the dragon sickness. Seriously. But other than that, this movie we get some dope freaking action. Question.
Okay.
The dwarf with the hammer in his head?
Mm-hmm.
Was this the first movie you've seen him?
No.
Are you serious? This is the first movie I've seen him. I paused it when he showed up. He's like, there's a shot of him right at the beginning with the hammer stuck in his head. I'm like, I talked to my wife. I said, this motherfucker ain't been in the first 2 movies.
He's just one of those back
They're
ones.
just adding a dwarf into the movie. I said, where's this guy coming from? Yeah. Well, he has a big moment in this one, kind of.
Well, yeah, so I was so taken aback when I watched this movie. I was like, I know that half of this stuff I just saw wasn't in the theatrical cut. So I went back and rewatched the last half of the theatrical cut. It's completely different.
Yeah. I don't even think the whole sled scene's in the...
It's not.
Really?
There's not a single sled.
How do they get to the White Orc?
They just all of a
Appear?
sudden have the pigs and they ride up there.
Huh.
Like, it's freaking bonkers. Okay. Other things they cut. When Dale, is that his name? Dane. No. The Thorin's cousin.
The leader of the 5th
Yeah.
Army?
Mm-hmm.
The redhead?
Yeah.
Oh.
I don't know what his name is. I think it's Dale. Maybe Dane.
Something like
Dane. When he shows up, him and the Elf King, they just talk. No fighting. The orcs just pop out. They all turn towards him. So that when they shoot that thing that spins to take all the arrows out, doesn't happen. None of the fighting happens. None of the sleds are there. Like, all of those that troll that has all his limbs cut off, not in the movie.
Is it the troll with the eye things?
Yeah.
Oh my God, that was That was getting me. I was going, ugh. Like it was. I was like, dang, that's
Like
gnarly.
the reason I didn't like that movie, I went into that movie to theaters originally just wanting an epic battle.
Yeah,
And
you want to battle like the end of Return of the King.
exactly.
Yeah.
And it wasn't like that because they cut all of this shit out of there.
Yeah.
And this was awesome.
Yeah, the freaking twirly whirly things that brought the arrows. It was so cool. My wife was like, "That was awesome."
Yeah. And right then I was like, was this in the original? Like, why did they cut this?
And the coolest thing about it is, like, Peter Jackson's mind was like, yeah, it'll block arrows, but when it lands, it's gonna destroy some elves, and that's what it freaking did.
Yeah.
It was so cool.
I mean, my favorite part of this movie probably is that the dwarves and elves actually got to fight for a couple minutes.
Because it's interesting, because you got the, like, like the crisp, precise elves, you know, their fighting style. Then you have, like, the quirky, loosey-goosey, kind of like a drunken style dwarf way of fighting, and watching them clash is cool. Yeah. And then you got, like, this real bulky, huge, heavy weapons. Like, when he's just donking the orcs with his hammer. It was like, this is so cool.
It is cool. And then, well, the whole sequence with the sled, or, you know, and they, like, at one point they ramp off something, and the wheels have the spikes on them, and they kill, like, 4 trolls by cutting off their heads. Mm-hmm. Like, all of that is not in the movie.
Yeah, it was crazy.
And, like, that shit was awesome.
Yeah.
That whole sequence when they're on the ice, and Baldwin, the old dwarf, gets on the thing and starts shooting motherfuckers, and he says, "I'm too old for this." I was like, this is fucking dope.
Yeah.
I loved this version of this movie.
Not to mention the beginning with Smaug.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Like, the movie just starts with Bard trying to fight off Smaug.
Yeah, that was all extended, too, and recut. And...
Oh, man. His, when he turns, it was the best part. It was my favorite part of the movie. I wrote it down. When he turns, he's fighting him. I feel like this is one of those ones I freaking put on Letterboxd before I realized what Letterboxd was. Give me 1 second. He was, or Born. His name's Born. I thought it was Bard.
It's...
Pretty sure it's Bard.
Yeah, Bard.
Yeah. When he's, like, all done, for one, he desolates the town. Like, destroys the mother effing town.
Yeah.
I did not remember that at all. Like, it was pretty dark, honestly. Like, that's a very Lord of the Rings tone. But when he finally gets when he sets up his bow with the real black arrow from his son, and Smaug turns to him and is just encroaching on him as the buildings crumble underneath his wings.
Yeah.
And he's just giving him, like, this big monologue, and he has his son standing there with the arrow on his shoulder. I was like, this is freaking epic.
It is.
Like,
it was awesome.
It's so freaking cool. And the Galadriel Gandalf scene, when they're fighting the ring race before they're...
Elrond, Saruman, Galadriel, and Gandalf all fighting.
Yeah. Oh my god. And seeing Galadriel fight just in general is, like, a spectacle to behold, especially when you know, like, Lord of the Rings lore. She is the greatest... She's the greatest warrior in Middle-earth, essentially. And she just disintegrates everything.
Yeah.
She's just... Poof. It's awesome.
It was very cool.
My wife did have a question, though, because Saruman seems genuinely, like, good. Isn't his pursuit of this, because he says he's going to pursue when they flee, isn't the pursuit of them when he turns?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. Because she was like, is he just, like, in a ploy? I was like, no, I'm pretty sure he's, like, genuinely good right now, and he gets turned.
Yeah, I think he changes his mind in between this and the next, and the
I think he just
Fellowship.
I don't even think it's just changing his mind. I think he just spends too much time in that, because, like, Gandalf is, like, dying in this darkness, and she's like, get him out of here. He's weak. He's gonna die. I think Saruman just spends too much time in that darkness, and it just makes him go crazy, like it made the King of Gondor or whatever.
Right. Yeah, maybe. But yeah, I mean, I had a blast rewatching this movie with the extended cut. I'll never watch the theatrical cut ever again.
Yeah.
I gave this movie an 8.
So did I. We're like flat 8.58. That's perfect. I do think though that the movie I enjoy the most is the first one, just because I really love the Middle Earth. I just let me, like, if I had to choose a world to live in, like if any fictional world to live in, it would be Middle Earth, just because it's freaking awesome.
Yeah, you know, there's rumors of like a 24-hour Lord of the Rings cut where you just watch him walk,
Like actually walk, yeah.
Yeah, I would fucking love that. I don't know if it really exists, but it would be fucking awesome.
Yeah, it would be cool.
All right. Did you have a wife review?
No.
Okay, we're just done with that. That was like a Halloween thing.
I guess. I don't know. She just stopped sending me texts. Stopped sending me her reviews.
My wife hasn't watched a single one of these movies besides Home Alone.
No. I mean, I could like just... She really likes the Hobbits. She really enjoyed the extended edition of 5 Armies. She thought it was a lot better like we did. She thought Wonka was a 10. Other than that, like she thought Saltburn was a 2. I'm pretty sure she gave me like a 2 or a 3.
That's bad.
Yeah. Other than that, that's all I got.
All right. Well, straight on to the main movie, Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny.
Oh, yeah, we watched this too. Yeah.
Yeah.
She did with me. Yeah.
So what'd you think? Because this is my second time watching. I watched it in theaters.
Yeah. It was like fine. It was fine.
You said it Indiana Jones.
Now, yeah, I know, but like, I don't know. I think this one just suffers from not liking the girl and the kid.
They're awful characters, aren't they?
Yeah. I honestly would just have preferred. I would have just preferred like just Indiana Jones and maybe like just get Ke Huy Quan to do his thing with him because he's young enough to do the more active stuff.
Right.
But I don't know. I think Indiana Jones is at his best when he's with his main lady. I forget what her name is. Marion. Like that is when Indiana Jones is like truly Indiana Jones.
Yeah.
So just having her at the end to cap it off kind of sucked. Yeah, I don't know. Indiana Jones is only as good as his party, and his party was not very good this time.
It's true, yeah. His party affects the movies a lot. That's why I don't like Temple of Doom. Because I don't like the woman in that one. I forget her name.
Mm. And you know, she's like at least Marion's a character. Like she's just a damsel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she's annoying. Yeah. And I don't love Short Round.
Yeah.
When he's a kid.
Fair enough.
But yeah, I think this movie, I like Indiana Jones a lot though. So just having Indiana Jones again is enough for me to enjoy it. But those two characters are not great. I don't understand why they constantly were trying to backstab him. You know?
Yeah.
It's like Uncharted, where all these people work together, but they're always doing other shit behind the scenes. You know? And like, that doesn't work with Indiana Jones.
Yeah.
But I do like some of the sequences. I really like the opening sequence with the Nazis. And
opening sequence was a very standout moment. It was very good.
Yeah, the de-aging, for the most part, looks decent. His voice doesn't really match up with his young self.
I like that they de-aged Mads. I feel like you could have just make-upped him and he would have looked fine.
Yeah. It's crazy. He doesn't look near as old as Indiana Jones, even though he should have aged just as much. Mm-hmm. You know? I don't know. I do like Mads as a villain, though.
Yeah, obviously. No, he was a good villain.
There were some funny parts, like when they're about to go diving, and Antonio Banderas is like, "Oh yeah, there's eels," and that kid, even though he doesn't know that Indiana Jones doesn't like snakes, he's like, "Oh, they look like snakes," and Indiana Jones is like, "No, they don't."
Yeah, that was a funny moment.
It was funny. The kid is in it just he's one of those characters you can see exactly why they put him in it. He's in it to fly the plane at the end.
Yeah.
Like that's the only reason he's in the movie. They're like, we need someone to fly them out of here.
Yeah.
And like, all right, we'll put this kid in. He's gonna love planes.
There's what did I have? I have it written down. There's a moment. It's during the like car chase scene when they're in that little buggy.
Yeah. Decent scene too.
Decent scene. One of them, there's a moment where like he shoves a gun in and she like is either with her foot or whatever has the gun pushed up against the windshield.
Yeah.
And it's going off. There's a little touch. There's a little nice touch in there. All the bullet holes in the windshield are not round. They're long and oval because it's going through it sideways. It's just like, and I was like, that is like one of the coolest things ever. And that's like something no one's gonna notice except me. but like, and it's cool because it's like really long. They're like 4 inches long because you're shooting it flush with the windshield. So like that's what it would do.
Yeah.
To go through, and I was like, that's super cool.
Yeah, I like that chase sequence too throughout that.
It's a good, decent chase. Like this movie's action is decent. I just think it's, I just think you don't care. Like Indiana Jones is the only character I was just like, yeah, I like you. Other than that, I was just like, Antonio Banderas' character, I liked him.
And he's in it for like 15 minutes.
Yeah, it's just rough. There, I did like the like history and the like. It was just like such a unique artifact that they were going for, as opposed to like some crazy big. You know,
like the Ark of the Covenant.
The Ark of the Covenant. You know, it was just like this very unique thing. Because, like, that's, like, one cool thing about Uncharted is, like, when everything that Uncharted goes for is usually, like, this really unique thing. And it's so unique, it probably isn't even based on anything real. So they can just make it up and you believe it.
Right.
That's what this is. It's like, you can just make this up. You're not tied. You're not bound by, like, for the Ark of the Covenant, you're bound by the Bible in a lot of stuff. So you can just do with it what you will.
Yeah. So we'll score it and go into spoilers.
Yeah. I love how Rebel Moon's newer than this movie. We just went straight in.
There's nothing to spoil in Rebel Moon though. Like we didn't talk about anything spoilery in Rebel Moon.
Not really. Yeah, not really.
Yeah. There is a big thing in this movie that is spoilery.
Yeah, let me tell you. I bet a lot of people didn't like it.
There's a couple of things, I guess. So, so what'd you end up giving it?
A 6.5.
A 6.5?
Yeah, it was like a 7. It could be a 7. It's like, it's enjoyable. I'm never going to watch it again. Like, never. Unless another Indiana Jones comes out and we watch them all. It won't happen.
Interesting. I think that I had it as an 8.5 when I first watched it. I bumped it down to an 8.
Yeah. I think I've only seen Kingdom of the Crystal Skull once, but I feel like I enjoyed that movie more than this one. Just because Shia LaBeouf and Marion are way better companions than...
You know what's funny is we'll talk about it in spoiler. So next week, for everyone that doesn't want to get spoiled on Indiana Jones, we will be watching The Fellowship of the Ring and The Creator for the main movie. And we're not going to do a rewind because we are going to do a...
Top 5 most anticipated movies of 2024, both of us.
Yeah.
So, that will take up a big O. That's going to take up, I would assume, a lot of time.
Yeah. Thanks for listening. We are back on schedule. We won't be missing anymore.
No.
So most podcast services on Monday, also YouTube on Monday.
Yep.
Thanks for listening. And for everyone sticking around for the spoilers, we'll get right into it. Okay. So, speaking of Mutt, Shia LaBeouf's character.
I don't dislike what they did with him. I think it fit his character well, actually.
Yeah.
But it just kind of sucks.
Yeah, it does suck. So he joins the army and ends up getting killed in war.
Yeah. It would be the Vietnam War, huh?
Yeah, I think so. And like,
And that has caused a rift in him and Marion's relationship, kind of. But just on his part, really. Because at the end, it makes it seem like she's always just been waiting for him.
right. Like, it's obviously, like, we know why Shia LaBeouf wasn't asked back, because he's crazy. Mm-hmm. You know, all his antics outside of his work, and Disney's not going to hire him, you know, for that. But out of everything that people hate about Crystal Skulls, I don't think anyone hates Mutt.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, like, he's a good character.
Yeah, he was a good enough character to continue the Indiana Jones legacy.
Right.
Like, by himself, without Harrison Ford.
I wish that he would have been in this movie.
Yeah.
Because, like, they could have come up with all kinds of reasons why him and Marion break up. They break up all the time. You know? It's like, that's their thing. And this could have been him helping Mutt out of a situation, just like he's helping What's-Her-Nuts out of a situation. Like, it's, you could literally put him in there, and it makes the movie infinitely better.
Yeah. It could have been like a Mummy 3 situation, because, like, their kid gets in a bad spot, and they go and help him.
Right.
Right? And just do that, and that's how they get back together. It's like, he gets married, he's like, hey, Mutt's in trouble, we need to go save him.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
With all that being said, the ending of this movie is so cool.
Yeah,
I don't care.
I think it's cool too, but like I bet the person who watched Indiana Jones when they were a teenager in theaters thinks it's the stupidest freaking thing.
So the end of this movie, the Dial of Destiny is actually a time travel device, but it only time travels to one specific point in time, and that's when Archimedes was getting ransacked in 212 BC.
I thought it was like 612 BC.
Yeah.
It was something old.
So this movie ends with Nazis flying a plane through a time rift, and all of a sudden being over an ancient Roman sacking of a city, and that is fucking awesome.
Yeah, it was a very crazy twist because they thought in the movie they think that they're going back to World War II, and like Mads' plan is I'm gonna kill Adolf
and take over
and
win the
war.
Right.
Which is cool because every other movie with Nazis is like, I'm gonna go back and save the Fuhrer. And this is like, no, I'm gonna do it better than Fuhrer. I was like, that's freaking dope.
It is dope, yeah.
Yeah. And then the plane just gets riddled with spears.
Right.
It was awesome.
It was so
They're like, oh,
cool.
dragon.
And like, part of me wishes that Indiana Jones would have stayed behind. Like, I think it would have been a fitting end to his character of like, oh no, he's part of history.
Yeah. There was a moment I thought he was gonna.
I thought he was too.
I was like, dang. That's when you know they do a good job. Is that it's like Toy Story 3. You know, like there was a moment when I thought that they were burning.
Yeah.
And that's like there's a moment I was like, holy crap, he's gonna stay. That's gonna be nuts.
It was fucking awesome. But he didn't stay because family. You know, he's got this weird, broken, hodgepodge family that he had to come back to, and they all are all together at the end.
Didn't she punch him and knock him out?
Yeah, she punches him, knocks him out, and wakes up, and she's there, the kid's there, Marion comes back, and then Salah and all his kids are there. And it's like, you know, this is your family, this is where you're supposed to be. And like, I get that's the theme of it. You know, you can't just stop. But I kind of wish he would have stayed.
Yeah.
And then at the very end, he grabs his hat like he's ready for one more.
Yeah, I hope they do make one more.
This movie bombed, so I wish they would make one more too.
Yeah, I just want a nice little, just cap it off. But yeah, I think that I think one more, and if they could get Marion to be in it a lot with him, and just one more would be great. I think it would be good because I think Harrison Ford wants to tell the one more too.
Oh, he loves it. Yeah, this one took so long, but he's like not. he's not unconvincing in the role. Like, I still believe that he's capable.
Yeah.
Like, obviously, you know, there's some scenes where, like, they're climbing a wall, and he's like, I'm too fucking old for this, you know? And, like, yeah, but you can still do it. And you still look like you can do it. So,
Yeah.
I think if they fast-tracked it and they had something, I think that they could get one done. But this movie bombed so bad that I don't think it's going to happen. But I think that, I mean, he's already said he doesn't want anyone ever playing the role. So, I think the idea was that she was going to be the star now.
Yeah.
Which was awful. Because
Pretty bad. She's unlikable.
Yeah, she's just unlikable.
Yeah, the what you said about her just like constantly trying to like get away from Indy or like screw him over.
Right.
The whole movie. Like she never almost never like until they go back to the Roman siege, like that's when she flips.
Right.
It's like she's just I don't understand. Like you have to have a likable main character to do anything.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, I don't understand, but I don't think that we'll get any more, which is a shame. I'm hoping.
We're just gonna wait on the Tom Holland, Mark Wahlberg, Uncharted 2. That'll fill us up.
Did they announce that? Is that a thing?
Yeah, that might be. I don't know if it's coming out this year, but it could be in my top 5 for next episode. They're thinking on it.
I mean, that movie was way better than it should have been.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So next weekend, Fellowship of the Ring, Creator, and our most anticipated 2024 movie list, which I think are going to be vastly different.
Yeah, it's going to be like, he's not going to know what mine is, and I'm not going to know what his is.
No.
So.
I think, and like, I don't really know.
I'm excited to do the research because I have no idea what's like.
I think one movie could make both our lists.
Rebel Moon Part 2?
No. No, Alien Romulus.
Oh yeah,
it might make both our lists, but like I'm not super excited about that movie.
Yeah, I know.
So yeah, thanks for listening. Sorry about the long delay in between episodes. Podcast services on Monday, YouTube on Monday, and hopefully we'll start doing some TikToks.
Yeah. We'll see. They're so hard. It's such a complicated, convoluted bullcrap. Having to like, it's fine if I could just take the video and put it on TikTok, but like I have to go through a whole nother system to get it in phone format. It's so stupid. But yeah,
that's why I show up and I talk and I leave.
Yeah.
But yeah, thanks for listening. See you guys next week. That's a wrap.
Yep.